Kratos' long journey for vengeance reached its bloody conclusion in 2010, with the Spartan releasing hope to the world. In God of War, the latest entry in the franchise, we find Kratos in a new land seeking his own kind of hope. Now a father, Kratos must learn to control the rage that has consumed him for years to forge a better future. With a shift to Norse mythology and several tweaks to the established formula, God of War seeks to chart a new course for the franchise. Does God of War's focus on plot and character development give the Ghost of Sparta a new lease on life, or should he have been left dead atop Mount Olympus? Picking up long after the events of God of War 3, God of War finds Kratos settled in Midgard with his son Atreus. Following the death of his wife and the arrival of a mysterious stranger, Kratos embarks on a quest with Atreus to fulfill his wife's dying wish. Along the way, the duo faces numerous obstacles that threaten to expose Kratos' history as the Ghost of Sparta. In a change from previous games, God of War puts the spotlight directly on the father-son relationship, delivering a thought-provoking tale of a man learning to control the hate and rage that defined him for so long. The dynamic between the two is compelling, with many of the game's emotional beats revolving around their relationship. The game can get considerably dark, but a colorful cast of characters injects some comic relief into the proceedings. While Terrence Carson's absence is felt, Christopher Judge does turn in a solid performance as a more restrained Kratos. As good as God of War's story is, it's not perfect. Story threads are dropped, ominous warnings end up going nowhere, and some mysteries never get the payoff they deserve. Worst of all is the main antagonist, who is boring to look at, listen to, and fight. The story manages to hit all the right emotional notes, even though it doesn't quite provide a good enough opposing force. God of War is, at its core, a God of War game. Despite a change in setting and weaponry, the game retains what made the franchise so fun to play in the first place, all while incorporating new mechanics. It's still about chaining light and heavy attacks together to create combos, dodging and parrying incoming attacks, with the caveat that button placement has changed. You'll need to break the square-square triangle rhythm of previous games, but the combat is still as fun, fast, and brutal as ever. The Leviathan axe serves as a worthy successor to the Blades of Chaos, with Kratos swinging it like a champ. The axe can be upgraded and customized throughout the game by collecting special parts and runes. Kratos can outfit his weapons with one light and heavy rune, which give it powerful special moves. The axe may be different from the blades, but it's no less fun to use against all manner of Norse beasties. The most significant change to the core combat loop is the introduction of Atreus. Rather than being a nuisance like most AI companions, Atreus actively helps Kratos in combat by distracting enemies, tripping them, or holding them in place. Players can even order Atreus to fire arrows at enemies to deal damage and increase their stagger bar. Once the bar is full, Kratos can unleash one of his signature brutal takedowns that are as bloody and visceral as ever. God of War has thankfully removed QuickTime events. While there are some contextual actions every once in a while, players won't need to press random buttons or jiggle the joystick in battle. Also out is the fixed angle camera, replaced with a traditional behind-the-shoulder camera. While it's great to have control, the new camera doesn't give players a useful overview of battles. A compass does clue players into where an off-screen attack is coming from, but it's still too easy to take damage from behind. New RPG mechanics give players more control over how Kratos grows throughout the game by acquiring and upgrading equipment. Enemies will get progressively harder throughout the game, with levels and colored health bars noting how strong they are. To combat the growing threat, players will need to shop or scavenge the world for weapon upgrades, gear, enhancements, and runestones, all of which are necessary to uncover all of God of War's secrets. In a huge break from previous games, God of War's levels are much more open with a lot to see and do. While story and progression are linear, a large explorable area opens up that allows players to participate in side quests, bonus fights, and collect hidden treasures. Backtracking is made easy thanks to specialized portals that make traveling to already discovered locations a breeze. Though none of this is necessary to complete the main story, all of this extra content has the potential to turn a 15-hour journey into a 30-hour one.
That's perfect!
Santa Monica Studios' reputation for pushing hardware to its limits is on full display in God of War. With superb lighting, highly detailed models and textures, and beautifully crafted environments, God of War stands as a technical masterpiece for the platform. Rounding out the presentation is a stellar orchestral soundtrack that incorporates the big brass and strings the series is known for, all while incorporating a choir singing the Old Norse language. God of War is not only a treat for the eyes, but also a treat for the ears. Kratos' thirst for vengeance is long gone, but the franchise has moved forward in a new, exciting direction. Santa Monica Studios have successfully transplanted the Ghost of Sparta to a new world and given the formula the revamp it needed. While God of War retains many similarities to previous games, the gameplay feels refreshing thanks to Atreus, the Leviathan axe, and the integration of RPG mechanics. The new over-the-shoulder camera may not provide the best overview of battles, but does little to diminish the fun combat provides. It's the focus on the relationship between Kratos and Atreus, however, that makes God of War so special. The father-son dynamic adds depth to a character that sorely needed it, and drop plot threads and the lame antagonist can't tarnish the character-driven plot. Olympus and the pantheon of Greek gods are gone, but God of War stands tall outside their shadow. If you like this review, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Otherwise, for everything gaming related, head on over to hardcoregamer.com for your fix.